Hello, I'm Mr. Snapper and welcome to Project Nutmeg! Project Nutmeg! I know, you're in the mood. She's in the mood today. This little kid likes to climb. We've talked before about how she had that broken paw early on and she was in a... Where are you going? Oh well. She was in a splint for 6 weeks. Maybe that's why she left. She didn't want to be reminded of the tragedy. After the splint came off, her explorations went vertical. Nerve-wracking? Yeah, you betcha. We didn't want her to fall again and have another injury, so we tried to control it. We turned them into supervised training exercises. Okay, so for instance, whenever we're at Banfield waiting to see the vet, Red coaches her up and down the pallets of dog food. You know how they have those sort of different levels of dog food. Very supervised, very safe. They had a day of play, Red and Nutmeg, during her first round of basic obedience classes, where Nutmeg could climb in and out of boxes and stand on elevated surfaces. So she has this natural inclination, and if it's one thing we know from our extensive experience as dog trainers, if it's one thing we know from like having read about dog training and how you're supposed to approach it, you're supposed to take those natural inclinations and build on those. So Red knew that she had to capture that propensity, is that the right word? Propensity for climbing and hopping into things and harness that and put that into their first routine. So the most important thing with props for dogs is that the props are safe. You know, your dog probably shouldn't jump higher than their extended body height. So if I had Nutmeg here, I could show you what that means. Come here, Nutmeg. Come here, Nutmeg. Come here. We have to give a demonstration to the people watching this on the YouTube. So she's just standing here. Hopefully you can see her. This is like her normal height. You don't want her to jump any higher than like this high. This is as high as she should jump. And do you agree with that? Yeah, she agrees with that. That was our first guideline for Nutmeg's props. Nothing too tall. Before spending a lot of money, we worked with a cardboard box to climb into and a cheap IKEA stool to stand on. So we could see where these temporary props needed adjustment. For example, Nutmeg's wiggly little butt is too wide to do more than sit on the step stool. It's too narrow for her little butt. We had to make sure that the boxes could support her weight. So maybe we would carry her in the smaller box and she would have to stand on the taller crate. So we looked to see if we could find some sort of off-the-shelf acrylic crate, case, something like that, but we couldn't find anything that had the right size requirements. Fortunately, we found the perfect size crate at IKEA. Almost perfect. So we bought 2 of these crates. And I did a little carpentry so that the crate that she hops into is shorter than the one that she hops onto. Bum, 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 bum. The thing is that since she is so tiny, if she hops into this one, actually, hold on a second. You sit? Sit for me. Sit. Good girl. So if she's in this box, I mean, you only see her little head poking out of the top, right? That's no good. We want to see more of Nutmeg. However, if she is in the smaller box, will you sit, please? Will you sit? Good girl. Hey, look at how much of her you can see. You can really see her. So I had to cut this down. I had to do some carpentry. And it was pretty simple. I mean, you can see the difference. We sanded them after we were done doing the carpentry stuff. We assembled them, then we stained and sealed them. Probably if I had it to do over again, I would have stained it when it was all separate. So the process was we assembled them first. I did the alteration to the smaller box. We assembled them first. She was able to rehearse with them in their sort of like raw, unfinished state. And then we took them outside and did the staining and the sealing and all that stuff. And during that period, she was back to using the cheap IKEA stool and the cardboard box. Anyway, this is way more detailed than you probably care about, but I don't know. I find this stuff interesting. I always have. So I build props, not just for this act, but I build props for Red, for her burlesque acts. I build stuff for myself, props that I used with my comedy partner, Mr. Buddy, You may remember Mr. Buddy. There's this great quote from Teller, of Penn and Teller, the great magician, the great theatrical mind, really, Teller. He said in a great interview, and I'll link this interview in the description below, to compose a new tune in magic, you don't just write the notes, you build the piano. I like that. And I think it's true of more than just magic, really. I think it's true of all the lively arts. I mean, to a degree, there are some specialized props that you have to purchase. Like, if you're buying a lira, it's a thing that, you know, you're probably not going to do much modifications to it. If you're buying juggling clubs or, you know, a lasso, you're probably not going to do much alteration to it. Maybe not, maybe not. But for so many other props, so many other costume pieces, for any of the lively arts, by which I mean things like burlesque, juggling, circus arts, puppetry, you name it, you can't really use off-the-rack costumes or props without giving them some sort of personal tweak, right? You don't want the audience to look at your gear and say, oh, I have that exact same IKEA crate at home, you know? So you have to put your own stamp on it. Even if it's a minor thing, even if it's just a minor little tweak, I think it's important to do that, because what we're doing is really bespoke content. When we're on stage in front of a live audience and we're performing a crazy song or doing a burlesque act or what have you, it's a bespoke performance. It's not, there's no such thing as like a turnkey performer package, right? So I think that's it for today. If you have any questions about props, if you have any observations, any opinions about props, the importance of it, maybe you think I'm completely off base, that yes, Mr. Snapper, it is possible to have a turnkey entertainment package. What do you call that stupid banana bandana magic trick? Huh? I got you. No offense to anyone who performs the banana bandana magic trick, but honestly, that's about as off the rack as you can get. There's a hot take for you. Watch, this video will have like 5,000 views because I'm insulting people. Maybe you've built props for dogs. Maybe you're a magician who makes your own props. Maybe you're a burlesque performer who makes your own costumes. I don't know. I like to hear this stuff. I like to hear what people's experiences are with props and costumes, because this is the stuff, the magic that makes the magic happen, that I'm just so super fascinated by. Be sure to like and subscribe, boop the bell for notifications, and you'll see us next time. Bye.